Hello, my name is Tyler Moore. This is my ISM project, and it is titled the McClure Student Showcase, Ferguson Florissant, Our Home. McClure High School is located in North County, St. Louis, and Ferguson, and it neighbors the south side of Florissant, directly over Interstate 270. It is one of three high schools in the district. The overall ethnicity of our district is about 90% African American, 8% Caucasian, and 2% other, including Hispanic, Asian, and Middle Eastern. Our economic status, well, our school itself has greater than 95% who qualify for free and reduced lunches. This year is also a low enrollment year. We have about 1,000 students attending. And these are our students. So on the right, you'll see some of my orchestra students. In fact, this entire screen is orchestra students. The right side, though, is my kids at our winter concert, and the other two is just to give you an idea for the flair and responsibility that my students have. There's a lot of personality there. On the right again is the orchestra program, and on the left we have a few of our girls from our choral program attending solo and ensemble. The problem. One of the big things that kids ask me all the time is, when are we going to get to play our music? When are we going to get to play music that is meaningful and personal to us? And also, with that, why can't we learn the music the way that I learned it at home, has often been asked. So that puts us into a question of thinking about informal or social or democratic learning. So the question is, can we tap into the ways that these students learn in a constructive format to showcase music that is either relevant or important to a student's personal culture? The solution is to create a student-led and performance to concert and showcase the music of their cultures, and pieces of music that as well are meaningful and relevant to them. So the student showcase, we had 13 acts, including singers, a violinist, a rap band, and a small jazz combo. There were 20 performers and 5 kids running in a support crew. I also had one kid who was generally a leader of everybody. And I also had a couple of kids making flyers, running morning announcements, and things of that nature. My leadership qualities. I tend to lean by the Greg Ork style delineator towards abstract random and concrete random, which means I tend to lean towards emotions and holistic approaches. I tend to value relationships. I obviously love the arts, and I love being inventive, and I love basically helping people. So that's the one thing that I decided that I was going to really try to develop and lean on in this project. The performance itself was an amazing success. Everybody performed for a small audience of family and friends. It was small this year, but it was such a success that we're already planning on doing it again next year. And we're going to get more bodies in the seats. So all of the acts that night were very well rehearsed and practiced, and the performance was meaningful and relevant to everybody involved. Just all in all, it was amazing to kind of see some of the developments that happened over the entire process. If I had to say one thing that was most developed and the best thing that happened because of this, was just being able to watch the transformation in these kids and watching them take initiative. So this is Paris. I'm only going to play a little bit of this recording. If there's interest, I'll post them later on in a comment. Oh, that is not what I meant to do at all. My goodness. Try that again. And that's all you get. All right, moving right along. This is Loriana and Grace. They are performing a duet. It's really important to remember that I spent no time with these girls at all. They literally just showed up to the event, first day of the project rather, and have this duet worked up, which kind of proved to me from the very beginning that our kids were getting together in social environments to be able to work on and learn music, and we should figure out how to emulate that in the classroom. So, Loriana and Grace. Just phenomenal. So the big thing that we walked away learning from this was that our students have grit and determination. It was clearly stated at the beginning of the project, late February, that the students' success and the content of the performance itself would be up to the students. Students stepped up in major ways, often creating CDs that included all the backtracks for singers to practice. Several made flyers or posters. I said that earlier. Several students, in addition to doing things like that, support things, had to meet together to run their acts. The jazz combo and the rap band especially had to meet up several times, and from what I understand, are going to continue to meet up and play socially because they enjoyed the experience so much. Our students are amazingly creative. All of the singers work very hard to bring their own unique approach or their own handprint or musical signature to the pieces of music that they performed. Our violinist learned All of Me by John Legend. She started off by just learning the melody, but slowly expanded to improvising and playing pretty semi-complex and ornate renditions of the melody in theme and variation style. Um, and one really cool thing that happened, actually, the night of the event, we were about 30 minutes before the concert actually started. All of the kids that were hanging out, there must have been 15 or 18 kids at that time. We were waiting on a few more to get to the performance, started playing music together in a big social, like jam band kind of context, where they were improvising and coming up with really interesting and complex ideas, including modality, polyrhythm, syncopation, and mixed meter, which I know sounds like a bunch of nonsense jargon. If you're a non-musician, that might be confusing. Just know that what they were doing is stuff that I would only charge advanced students with, usually. Things that you would normally see composition majors at college, music composition majors at college toy around and tinkle with. So to see that kind of happen organically in a social setting was really neat. The students work very hard if it is something relevant to them. This is a big thing. Students worked especially hard on their acts because they were something that they loved. One of our students, Micah, performed Billie Jean by Micah Jackson, complete with all the dance choreography and singing. Loriana and Grace's duet, you've heard it, was very complex rhythmically and melodically, and it was very difficult. And they received no help on it, 100% just them working on it. And many of the students set up additional coachings with the choir and band teacher just out of interest to make themselves better before the event. They wanted help working on technique or how to make the performance more convincing and more meaningful. It was really, really neat to kind of see these kids step up. We found additionally a bunch of people who were willing to help us out. Artists for a Cause out of UMSL provided us Terry Barber, who came in and did a master class with our students. Brian Owens, who's a soul singer from Ferguson. I was able to contact him, and he was not able to help us with the concert, but he's agreed to come and actually do more collaboration stuff with our music department next year. And we're looking forward to doing some kind of piece with them for either our winter or spring concert next year. And we had other organizations within our school absolutely take an interest in the event too, including our Tri-M chapter, which is newly formed, and our dance troupe called the Pommies. So we're going to look to include these two different groups in addition to the Vision, Artists for a Cause, and the music department for our next concert. What I want us to close with is this thought that music is a language. And whenever we treat it or approach it as a language, especially in an educational context, it becomes all that much more enriching. It becomes all that much more easier to teach. I know my video is running long, but I'm just going to finish up with this quote. Victor Wooten, an amazing and instinctual reflective musician, spoke on this. Think back to how you learn language. Now, if I take the music example, in most cases, our beginners are not allowed to play with the better people. You're stuck in the beginning class. You have to remain there a few years until you are elevated to the intermediate and then advanced level. And after you graduate to advanced class, you still have to go out and play a lot of dues. But with language, to use a musical term, even as babies, you're jamming with professionals all the time to the point that you don't even know that you're a beginner. And that's what I think I saw the most in this project, was that our kids were willing to help each other see past their insecurities, to help them grow and mature past their faults and their problems, and develop themselves to be the best versions of themselves that they possibly could be. And they wouldn't have gotten that opportunity unless they were just allowed to just be kids and to communicate with each other and to work with each other. I think we often can get in our own ways as educators, especially in the music classroom. So what's next? We as a department are looking for ways to incorporate this style of democratic social learning in our classrooms. We also try to adopt more non-traditional teaching techniques. I'm going to work and to continue to develop my role as guide within my classroom instead of sole expert. And students will help create meaningful curriculum and inform content with me as a team moving forward. And I'm really excited for that dynamic shift in my classroom. I'm also excited about future content because it's going to have more modern and relevant music outside of strictly just classical or traditional orchestra literature. Of course, there's still a place for that, but I'm looking to enhance and bridge connections with my kids so that whenever the time comes for them to work on classical music, they have a better understanding on how to see it, utilizing their own perspectives. So, thank you very much for sticking with me, and please have a great day.